Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Dr. Hamiza binti Hassan. In this video, me and my group members will be presenting about the corporate governance and corporate failure. The company that me and my group members have chosen for this assignment is Lehman Brothers Holdings Inc. First of all, let me introduce myself and my group members. My name is NAIMAH binti MIOR RAZALI and my group member is NURIN UMAIRAH binti MOHAMAD FARIS and NURUL SYIFA binti ALIAS, and we are from class KBA 2423D.
Lehman Brothers was founded by three brothers, Henry Lehman, Emmanuel Lehman, and Mayor Lehman in the year 1850 in the US state of Alabama. The firm headquartered at New York, USA. From 1891 to 1969, Robert Lehman was a long-time head of the Lehman Brothers. After that, Peter Peterson held the position of chairman and CEO of the firm from 1973 to 1984, and finally Richard Falk as the final chairman and CEO of investment bank Lehman Brothers. Lehman Brothers was a global financial services firm. Before declaring bankruptcy in 2008, it was the fourth largest investment bank in the United States with about 26,000 employees worldwide doing business in investment banking, equity, fixed income and derivative sales and trading, research, investment management, private equity and private banking. The firm operational for 158 years from its founding. Let's see the firm history. They started operating a dry goods store at Montgomery, Alabama, which at that point of time was a flourishing business. During 1850s, cotton was one of the most important crops in the United States. Showing the importance and high market value of cotton, the Lehman Brothers began to accept raw cotton from their customer as form of payment for their merchandise, and just within a few years, this became a part of their business. During the late 1850s, the cotton trading hub has shifted to the New York City, where factories and the commission houses were based. Lehman Brothers also started its new branch in New York. They were still largely involved in their cotton business. In 1870, Lehman Brothers played an important role in formation of the New York Cotton Exchange. The headquarters of Lehman Brothers was also shifted to New York. Lehman Brothers also became the member of Coffee Exchange in the year 1883 and finally the New York Stock Exchange member in 1887. In the year 1899, Lehman Brothers underwrote its first public offering of the International Steel Pump Company. In the year 1906, Lehman Brothers partnered with Goldman Sachs to bring many more public offerings to the market. This was the time when Lehman Brothers started entering into the financial markets. For the next 2 decades, they did more than 100 public offerings and many of them were in partnership with Goldman Sachs. During the period of Great Depression, that is during the period of late 1920s to early 1930s, when equity markets were not doing well, Lehman Brothers focused on venture capital, which helped the company survive through Great Depression phase. The underwriting business and issue of public offers continued afterward. During the next 4 decades, the company underwrote many public offerings and became one of the largest and well-known brands in the financial sector. The firm continued their operation in the financial market until 1975 when they merged with Kuhn Low and Company to become the fourth largest investment bank in the United States. However, the merger did not meet its aspirations. In the year 1984, the Lehman Brothers was acquired by American Express, which later merged with Shearson to form Shearson Lehman Brothers in 1984. The new firm diversifies its operation into banking and brokerage. American Express spun off Lehman Brothers in the year 1994 in an initial public offering, and the company name was changed to Lehman Brothers Holdings. Before Lehman Brothers ended their 158 years existence, there have several achievements under CEO Richard Falk. In 2007, the firm generated approximately $3.1 billion in net revenue and almost $800 million in pre-tax income. Prior to going bankruptcy, the firm had in excess of $2.73 billion in assets under management, and the firm had increased net revenue over 600% from $2.73 billion to $19.2 billion.
Moving on to the condition that leads to the failure, there are basically four main conditions of failed corporate governance that the Lehman Brothers did, which are because of lack of management practices, unacceptable accounting practices, ignore the corporate governance practices, and the last but not least is the poor asset risiko management. In the next slide, I'm going to explain the details about the point of condition of Lehman Brothers corporate governance that leads to the failure. Starting with, there are unacceptable accounting practices that are used by the Lehman Brothers, which is called Post 105. Following the fall of Android in 2002, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act was enacted, and this was obviously violated by the Lehman's manager. As a result, several accounting violations have been discovered. The Sarbanes-Oxley Act was introduced in order to improve internal control procedure, reinforce director duties and actions, restore customer trust, boost external auditing practices and independence, and offer timely disclosure. When Lehman utilized Post 105 to prepare financial account, they broke the majority of these rules. In the Post 105 action, it allowed a short-term repurchase agreement to be treated as a sale. The money raised from this sale is subsequently utilized to settle debt, giving the impression that the firm is lowering its leverage via short-term debt repayment, just long enough for the balance sheet to show this effect on the financial record. Following the release of its financial result, the business take out a loan to buy back its original asset. Other than that, Lehman Brothers was found committing embezzlement in terms of which paid for most of the senior employees. They paid its most senior employees hundreds of million dollars in the run-up to its 2008 bankruptcy. Richard Ford, head of Lehman Brothers, said that he had in fact taken about $300 million in pay and bonuses over the past 8 years. Despite Ford's defense on his high pay, Lehman Brothers executive pay was reported to have increased significantly before filing for bankruptcy. On the other hand, Lehman Brothers are also said have embezzled money by using a small company, namely Hudson Castle, to move a number of transactions and assets of Lehman books as a means of manipulating accounting numbers of Lehman finances and his scheme. One Lehman executive described Hudson Castle as an alter ego of Lehman. According to the story, Lehman owned 1/4 of Hudson. Hudson board was controlled by Lehman, and most Hudson staff members were former Lehman's employees. Second condition of failed corporate governance is Lehman Brothers executive ignore the corporate governance practices. Lehman Brothers are also said to have committed bribes to save their fraud. After filing for bankruptcy, it is found that Lehman Brothers was utilized Ernst & Young to prevent balance sheet fraud from being reported to by the audit committee. Ernst & Young was Lehman Brothers' independent auditor for many years before it collapsed. EY's job was to examine the company's financial statement and provide an opinion on if they accurately depicted the company's financial situation. EY was given the responsibility to looking for signs of fraud, deciding if information should be made public, and getting in touch with the audit committee of Lehman Brothers. EY was aware of Lehman's use of Repo 105 and they failed to disclose its use. New York Attorney General Andrew Cuomo filed charge against Ernst & Young in December 2010, alleging that the firm substantially assisted a massive accounting fraud by approving the accounting treatment. Then again, the amount of influence that CEO Richard Ford, which is the head of Lehman Brothers, exerted over the entire board and the management was unprecedented. None from the management team could speak their concern, and the company continued digging its own hole by repeatedly engaging in fraudulent activities. Third condition is because Lehman Brothers has a poor risk and asset management by the company management team. It was found that the conflict of interest that exists in this company is so significant. Lehman Brothers invested all of its profit in the mortgage market while taking on excessive borrowing and disregarding its stockholder. The company's risiko management division was unable to control in the fraudulent accounting practice the business engaged. Despite knowing about the scam, the risk management committee and the audit committee chose to remain silent. Last but not least is the lack of management practices. The weakness of the corporate governance mechanism at Lehman Brothers was due to the lack of qualified independent directors who understood the financial world. Lehman Brothers put in place several independent directors who had no knowledge about how financial institutions are supposed to perform, and this led to the downfall of the company. Corporate governance fails when a company's management or board of directors do not fulfill their responsibilities towards the company and its stakeholders, leading to poor decision making, lack of accountability, and negative outcome. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Next, I will present about bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers. At the time, Lehman collapse represented the largest corporate failure in US history. It was around 6 times bigger than the largest previous failure. Too much leverage. Lehman owns a lot. This resulted from the implementation of the risky company model supported by small equity, an aggressive expansion strategy, and excessive borrowing. Before the global financial crisis, there was deregulation of the banking sector. After President Clinton repealed the Glass-Steagall Act in 2008, which had separated commercial and investment banking since 1933, financial standard looseness. Ultimately, this event led Lehman to diversify its holding into riskier and more complex financial instruments, such as large subprime mortgage loan, such and approves generally facilities growth. However, it also results in excessive spending and increased income with little cash. In fact, high leverage also increased the possibility of losses. Next, for liquidity pressure, Lehman had to sell assets at a discount or loss to reduce leverage in late 2007 and early 2008. The need to amortize stemmed from subprime mortgage defaults and subsequent default. Lehman liquidity was under severe pressure because of this outcome. It indicates that the bank cannot pay its debt in full or meet its immediate obligation. As a result, Lehman began managing its short-term cash with repos and become overly dependent on short-term wholesale funding of commercial paper loan. For dubious management practice, eventually people begin to doubt that bank soundness as a result of its dishonesty and excessive use of repos. The market began to lose faith in Lehman financial stability. Around mid-2007, there was a sharp increase in the default risk or spread of the credit default swap. The spread reaches at the height of 1,450 basis points on September 15, 2008. For complex capital structure, looking back, Lehman has transformed from a conventional bank to an investment bank, handling complex and sophisticated international transactions. In addition, it sells complex and dangerous financial instruments through more than 300 different legal companies around the world. This expansion strategy eventually led to a significant level of complexity in the capital structure. Regulators and bank managers are not prepared to assess the overall health and financial stability of the bank. In the end, the collapse of Lehman Brothers acts as a metaphor for the weakness in the regulations and supervision of the financial system. For unsuccessful bailout and takeover attempt, looking back at what happened before the insolvency, Lehman Brothers made several attempts to turn their business around. The huge losses incurred in 2008 and the failed attempt to sell some of the company made this necessary. Due to the low rate mortgage strength in its subprime position, Lehman Brothers declared losses by September 10, 2008. As they try to sell more of their holding in the majority of the company, the US government decision in 2009 that it will not be helping any financial problem that arose at Lehman Brothers made their condition worse. Following the government announcement, Lehman Brothers speculate on the potential takeover agreement with Bank of America and Barclays Bank in an attempt to turn around the company fortune. This takeover plan also fell through when it was reported that the Bank of England and the UK Financial Services Body exposed that the agreement to save Lehman from bankruptcy. The worldwide crisis forced Lehman to shut down its top subprime lender, BINTI Mortgage, in 23 months prior to their bankruptcy. Lehman Brothers filed for voluntary bankruptcy on September 15, 2008 in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court Northern District of New York due to the losses occurring so quickly, one after the other. The FI attempt at a potential government bailout MERS and also another purchase attempt by businesses including Barclays Bank and numerous other made the voluntary bailout necessary. With the exceptions of the well-known Enron collapse in the early 2000, Lehman Brothers 2008 bankruptcy was regarded as the biggest financial institution's failure, with asset value at 600 billion. In particular, the top US investment banks saw significant losses in September. In just the first half of September, Lehman's stock price fell by 73% of its value, and by mid-September 2008, the company had loss of 3.9 billion in an attempt to sell the bulk of its share in a subsidiary. That's all from our group. Thank you.